Traders from all around the world, it's your boy. How you doing? In a brand new studio here in my house in Las Vegas, Nevada. And I appreciate you being an absolutely remarkable human. This is a 15 to 20-minute review of the markets and a quick discussion on some technical analysis and some trade opportunities. Let's dive in. First, just to cover the broader stuff, here is the SPY, which is the SPY ETF. Now, the S&P 500 ETF. To cover these relatively quickly, this is the E-minis S&P 500 futures, and we're down just a little bit, which is quite interesting to me. The fact that we are in a full-fledged, war, and and Trump keeps, throwing telephone poles at Iran. The fact that we're not down more is quite interesting. So my expectation is, yes, we get a little bit more selling potentially, just a smidge though, and then we start to bounce out of here. That actually is quite possible. And the reason is because you have tons of tech stocks that are actually down a whole bunch. And you have a lot of energy stocks that are up a whole bunch. So when the energy stocks kind of pull back a tad, and then the money starts and the sector rotation starts to flow from energy back into tech, the S&P and the broader markets actually do go a lot higher, in my personal opinion, eventually, because well, this does not even almost reflect how much many of the major companies are actually down. So let's go look at some of them and just talk about some trade setups and some trade opportunities. Here's the XLE, and the XLE, which is the energy ETF. This is the same 2026 list that I'm going to keep following for all of us together so that we can, watch it and track it. But when I mentioned back in January that we're going to make new all-time highs. Well, we did because we took out all that bear volume. And then it happened again in March. So we had a lot of bear selling. This was a really, really beautiful flag pattern. And once we closed off all that bear selling in mid-March, we just pushed higher. We retested it with a gap down open, and then we pushed higher. So to me, we're going to start flattening out and just kind of correcting a little bit, which is not obviously the end of the world on any stretch of the imagination. But then everyone's making incredible money on the way up. Once they make incredible money on the way up, they're going to start locking in some profits. And of course, they will get some money pouring over into the tech markets. We're going to go look at some tech stocks in just a little bit. Gold and silver, huge move ups, but they have a double top. This is a really, really clear double top on gold. And we are very far away from the weekly 100 simple moving average. The truth is, I'm just trying to figure out what direction it's going to go. And so you can prepare yourself for both. And the way you could do that is start buying some shares, because we have had a really nice 20% pullback. So you can buy some shares for some long positions and then maybe potentially just over insure a little bit those shares with some long puts and make sure you sell some calls, because I don't personally believe we're just going to rally out of here. I think we chop around here for a bit. So something like this for a while, because we ran up a little too steepishly. We've already bounced off the long terms. You can see right here back in November of 2024. And then here in July, we bounced off perfectly and just soared. So we went up too high, too fast on the world's largest asset. And I think now we need to rest. So here's silver. And the thing is with silver, I actually am in puts presently on silver because this is a perfect double top. It is. Is it going to work out or not? I don't know. But it seems like to me, you got to take some type of risk here. Again, you can go long, totally can start buying some shares. I haven't personally yet, but I have traded silver before, and I did not buy the exact high in human history this time. I avoided that one. So it took only 15 years for silver to go higher than the price that I bought it with weekly out of the money call options. I lost $1.2 million on my 21st birthday. So silver, big double top, consolidation, congestion. And I think if we do have some continued selling this week and we go a little bit lower in the broader markets, again, the big if, then I think silver actually follows suit. I think there's going to be a little bit of a panic, a little bit of freak out if we really start breaking these key levels on the SPY and the broader markets, which is really literally Thursday's candle and Tuesday's candle. We cannot go below these candles this week. If we do, it's going to essentially kind of be a little Armageddon-ish. Things are going to get a little bit wild. Again, I kind of think that we just do something like this for a bit, and then we kind of go higher. We get some type of resolution. That should maybe the bull optimism in me. But if we keep fighting and if we drop any type of heavy artillery, like heavy, artillery. I've definitely seen some articles and some headlines that we've been practicing safe nuke bombs. We start doing that. I don't think that bodes well in general, and we do go lower. But again, closing below either of these two candles on the broader markets and any individual stocks, I do not think is going to be a good thing. I've been taking advantage of this market by selling some SPX bear call spreads because the VIX is pretty high. So selling SPX bear call spreads, buying puts on the SPY, and just making sure to hedge myself with some inverse ETFs as well. All right, let's go through the list. Alibaba doing essentially nothing other than go down once it broke the 200, that's why this is a big red line. Once that breaks, it doesn't look good, and we broke it. So BABA traded lower. Now, the good news is this is also double top on the weekly chart. We're trading into the 100 simple on a weekly. So again, back to this, like if it bounces area, this is where it needs to bounce right here, right now. Big problem though is the monthly 100 simple moving average is also a resistance. So if we do bounce, I do not believe we go above 150 in this scenario. Now, granted, we're at 122. So play with whatever strategy is slightly more bullish to neutral, where we could do something like this. That's probably best case scenario in Alibaba. And if we break the 100 on the weekly, I don't see why we just don't slowly go back down. MicroStrategy has been getting absolutely hammered. But the good news is all of you would have known it if you had any type of technical analysis charts, right? 3 bear candles in a row, broke the 200 consolidation, and we kept retesting and failing the 200 simple moving average, which is the big red line on my weekly chart, on your weekly chart, and we failed it perfectly 3 weeks in a row. So what I use that time frame for me personally, which I still have shares on, I'm still underwater on them, but I'm doing pretty okay, bringing in some incomes. I am selling some calls. Although they're below my cost basis, I am buying puts or bought puts. And this blue Mr. Squiggles here is the only bullish thing that MicroStrategy can do. Bullish meaning if we break the low here, we retest, and then this is the most bullish action you see, and then we go lower. And that would also require Bitcoin to go lower. I respect that, understand that, and we'll see if that does occur. It sure looks like it could. But the good news is the monthly 100's at 84.14. So the bloodbath will stop there for a period of time on MicroStrategy, in my opinion. And then we'll just kind of see what happens. But we've had selling every month. We've been down since August of 2025. Every single month, MicroStrategy has been lower. So it's getting to the point where it's getting a little ridiculous. The good news is on Monday, perfect high wave indecision candle. So gap up will be great. Gap down will be great. So going to Bitcoin, I think we're going to gap up on MicroStrategy. On Monday, I think we actually have a good little bull push and fill this gap at 133. Because again, Bitcoin, although it is still down, right? It is still down. It is down much, much less than MicroStrategy is down. So from the exact tippy top to present, we're down 46% on Bitcoin. So what I'm doing right now is I'm still accumulating Bitcoin, which means I'm just buying $1,000 here, $1,000 there. I'm not getting in too heavy, couple drips turned on, you get some money in your bank account. I found 25 cents running the other day, put that in my little coin drawer, and I'll be buying some Bitcoin of that in the future. This is the spot to accumulate. It's only going to get disastrous and terrible if Bitcoin breaks 60,000 with a close below the 200 weekly moving average. Bitcoin is toast. And that's what you got to watch out for. If that happens, we're going to enter a full bear cycle, full bear market. It's not going to be pretty, but I do think that's a possibility. I think this is a coin flip on Bitcoin. Do we break the $60,000 price point in the next few weeks, months, or do we hold it? And I don't know. So I'm not going in too aggressively, but I am buying again on a daily/weekly basis. And if it hits 69,000 or lower, I buy some. Solana, same thing. So this is actually my little buy spot, which is 7777. We did hit that, and the only reason that if you're buying Solana down here is just because, well, we have balance there. So this is kind of like a pyramid level. The problem is there's no technicals that's going to cause it to go higher other than just pure hope and optimism, and that's it. The monthly chart is a head and shoulders pattern perfectly, right? We've had a lot of selling. So if it does bounce here, and I did buy some, and trades up into 105, you got to sell it. It's the best technical head and shoulders on a monthly chart I've ever seen in my life. So that doesn't spell strong or strength. So This is a buying zone. Buy low, sell high. You can definitely protect yourself, and it runs up higher. Good. If it doesn't, no big deal. Oscar Health. So I am in shares of Oscar Health. Probably too many. I do love the close that we got on Thursday, but I do not love the fact that we have broken below and we close below the 200 something moving average on the weekly chart, and this could be a retest of that price point, and then we go lower. Will that happen? I do not know. But what I can say is I am in a collar. This collar is below my cost basis. So the $11 protective put, which is the blue line expiration, and then the covered call here at 15. I think that we retest this, and then I hope we bounce on Oscar. That makes sense to me. But again, if we start closing below Thursday's candle, essentially all bets are off, and we're going to go lower. That's it. I don't know what else to say. Apple, amazing hammer, 10 out of 10, looks gorgeous off the 200 something moving average, off this 245 price, which a lot of people bought at. You do have a nice little double top there on the daily time frame. Here's the weekly time frame, also double top, but we got to close below this neckline. And if we don't, and I don't expect us to, I don't think we will, because again, how does Iran and higher, oil prices affect Apple at all? And the answer is it doesn't. Perfect shooting star on a weekly chart, perfect bear gap and go on a weekly chart. That gave you really good insights that we were going to go lower. We did 4 down weeks in a row, and then a strong bull candle. 4 down weeks in a row and a strong bull candle. Apple generally has a hard time going down more than 4 down weeks in a row, followed by a strong bull candle. So I think we're going to slowly bounce out of here. Looks good to me. Short term, I'm actually bullish on Netflix. I got long when you had a strong bull candle come in here, closing above the 100 daily moving average and 100 weekly moving average. You also had a high wave bear inside candle on Friday, which was also that bear 10 EMA trade. Come on, your boy's still doing the same thing. Got into some call options on Netflix because we were above the 100 daily moving average. Weekly chart, again, we're kind of bouncing off of that particular price, and you had an inside high wave candle last week. Went long. From an AI perspective, I think that actually helps Netflix, right? I think about it. They make more content faster, quicker, and they don't pay anyone. So more content, people continue to pay their monthly fee, and their costs go down because they don't have to pay any actors. They just create AI stuff. Who knows? That's my thought. I'm bullish. Johnson Johnson, it closed above all that bear volume from that Friday option expiration, and we did that on March 25th, and we've kind of been squeezing since then. If I were to play Johnson Johnson, I would just kind of buy that dip back into 233, and think we just kind of create a small little distribution phase up here. So buy low, sell high. Johnson Johnson, again, strong trend, really, really good looking move. Multi-year distribution phase breakout. Look at that. So we really trade sideways essentially for 6 years. Maybe even longer, depending on how you frame it. But once we started breaking out of that distribution phase, we crushed. Johnson Johnson, ultra powerful. So we're going to have to rest up here for a little bit, which again, I do think that after some of these consumer discretionary stocks like Costco, which is who's in bullish on Costco other than your boy, right? Everyone's talking about AI and energy. And I'm over here like, yeah, but all the companies, like I said in the last video that we all made together, that we all watched, like take the companies and invest in companies where AI is going to help them make more money in the short term and long term and not directly compete with them. And that those are companies like Costco, and they had good earnings in early March, 69 billion. They're doing great. They're above the daily moving averages, the weekly moving averages. This is an awesome trend. We retest the downtrend line. A lot of people are in Costco. Great. So there's not a whole lot to see there. Chevron, I actually did make a little bit of a cute amount of day trading capital money on April 1st with that really nice gap down there and open below that lower shadow. All these bears in a row. I mean, again, if oil continues to go up and the markets go down, I think energy goes a little bit higher. The reality here for me is that you're starting to get signs of exhaustion volume. So that's a potential, hey, I don't know, hold on. So if we do make one more push, and if I had a bunch of energy stock, I would at least protect myself and hedge it. This has been a really, really gorgeous breakout, really incredible move on Chevron, new all-time highs. But this is where a lot of newbies buy and not a lot of times where you all buy. I wouldn't be buying up here aggressively. If I was doing anything, I'd be peeling profits away and just being extremely, extremely cautious. First Solar, I don't know, just kind of hanging out. So First Solar kind of bounced around the 10 and 20 moving average. Here's the weekly chart. Below those moving averages, monthly chart, you're failing the 20 for the most part. Nothing extremely interesting here. Here's the daily time frame. Other than the only thing I see that just is standing out to me is the fact that we closed below all that bull volume, and we are retesting that bull volume continuously from the bottom. So bang, 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 failure, 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 all from that bull volume. So if I had to guess, we probably go lower, and we trade down into the 180 mark, which is going to be the weekly 200. Again, we don't have to. Nice high wave weekly candle here. So we consolidate and then poof, poof. That's what ends up happening. One of the two, don't know which one, don't really care. I don't have a personal affinity towards First Solar at all. And we'll see how it gets out of there. In phase. So in phase, back to my volume studies. I love that you guys always comment on my videos about this, about the fact that I make it easy. And the reason I make it easy is because if I make it hard, then it's hard. If I make it easy, then it's easy. Strong, strong, massive, incredible gap up. So this is a bull retest gap, right? Bull candle gapping up says all the prior bulls are going to sell and lock in some profits. Well, big bull candle, huge bull volume, and the very next day we closed below it. That is a short signal. All these buyers are trapped. We retest probably a little bit, and then we end up filling this gap. I did that trade, so it was pretty dope. Really good close, good little retest, good little gap fill. Now the gap is entirely filled, and we're failing the 200, 100 daily moving averages, which is not good. The weekly, we close below this big bull volume here. Not good for the bulls. Monthly chart, not good for the bulls. Big shooting star. We're below all moving averages on all time frames. I think this just keeps going lower. And this thing looks like it's getting murder housed. So if I play this again, which I will extremely consider it, that, short the retest on end phase. Robinhood, Jiminy Christmas and a pile of Christmas trees, dude. Like if we take out this bull candle and this bull candle, Robinhood is going to sink lower, a lot lower, down to, I don't know what, 50. I have no clue what the heck Robinhood's doing over here. I'm like, how in the world is Robinhood being negatively impacted by this thing in Iran? And the answer is it's not. But flip, dude, from 150 to I'm getting absolutely hammered on this thing. Now, I've been protecting myself pretty well with stops, with put options and call sales and buying at the right time. This is a very good time to buy. Very good time to buy. And the risk reward is incredulous down here. High wave bull candle at the 100. This is the best. This is my setup, dog. This is it. This is what I look for. I am here. And I bought more Robinhood, and I got my cost basis down to 76 because I slammed the flipping hammer on this thing right here. And I was like, hey, baby girl, like you good to like drink a bunch of water for the next 3 weeks and eat some rice and stuff, because this is it. This is the level that it needs to bounce. And if you have shares of Robinhood and you're losing on them, I don't think that's going to last much longer. Unless we close below these two candles. And in that case, I'm going to buy a bunch of puts and overinsure my position and hope that it bounces. RSI, you do have an RSI divergence on the daily. Very, very strong divergence there. You do not have a divergence on the weekly chart, so take that for what it's worth. But yeah, we're at a very, very good buying point. I kind of hope we bounce. Reddit, Reddit looks kind of okay, actually. So I did somehow extremely well on Reddit and just buying it well, nicely, cutely. And my cost basis on this one's like 140 and some change. So this 157 cover call would be a profit if I get called away. Very strong trend line, very good looking move. We got to get above the 100 weekly. And again, back to like, how is this company being negatively impacted by Iran? The short answer is it's not. And it's a tech company, and earnings were awesome. They were phenomenal. And then the next earnings is forever away. So this is the accumulation phase, buy low, sell high. We got absolutely just slaughter faced over here in February. And I'm in a spot where I'm buying shares, I'm accumulating, and I'm selling some cover calls higher than my cost basis. Google, it's Google. I don't know what else to say. Perfect gap and go. Retest gap. I do think this gap gets fully filled on Google. And so if that happens, that would be taking out the Thursday candle, but I don't know if we take out Tuesday's candle. And, maybe we wick below it. Maybe we end up bouncing off the 200 simple moving average. But, this is one of the stronger stocks. Now, the big big problem I see is that you have a perfect head and shoulders on Google along with NVIDIA, and we're retesting the neckline. So if you have some shares that you want to protect, this is the spot to protect those shares. This is it. Neckline, retest on a head and shoulders pattern, selling calls above the 100 daily, buying some puts around 280 or 270 or 265, and doing it right before earnings expiration, or doing it over earnings is also fine. And love Google long term, very, very good buying stock, but you got to protect yourself. Micron, one of the strongest companies I've ever seen in the last 3 months and really last 2 years. Incredible how much this thing has moved up. Good job, Micron. I've missed the vast majority of this move. And if we break below and we close below this candle here, this is a wicked pair candle pattern, very, very strong candle pattern. If we close below it, we're going to go lower. And if we don't, we're going to go higher. Nice little spot to kind of like play the bounce. This is a great bounce. And I think we absolutely can bounce. The strength has been so overwhelming on Micron. And then we can trade back to $440 a share. So, we get to see what that one does. WeBull, I don't know if the bottom is in, but I'm doing everything. I'm doing all of the things I can do. From a investor standpoint, I get it that it sucks. I know a bunch of you are in it. I hate that for us. I'll simply say this. I told you guys I'm willing to become the CEO. Like, you write in enough letters, let's fire the current person and put me in there. I'll do anything I can to get the stock rebounded for you all, but this actually does look like the bottom could be in. I know that sounds crazy, and a lot of people have been hoping that that's the case, but since earnings and since the breakdown of that high wave candle, looks like we're going to go lower. And I posted some videos about that, right? Our last video, we broke below, we retested, we got a lot of bull candles, we kept sinking. Those are the times to buy some puts and sell calls if you're in it. And obviously, you would have had to sell your calls below your cost basis, but that doesn't mean it's not available, and it doesn't mean that you couldn't have done it. So if you did do it, well done, right? So, from here, we'll just kind of have to see how it's going to play out. I like it. I like the candle, and the bad news is, if this is not the bottom, we're going to keep going lower. We're going to go to 4 and then 3. I really have no clue. It's unfortunate, but I actually believe the short-term bottom is in on WeBull. Zeta, ZETA, we get to see again how technical analysis reigns supreme. Beautiful breakdown, the 100-200, retest the 100-200, failure of that 100-200 and trade lower. Weekly chart, the 100-200 daily moving averages there was the 100 on the weekly. So that's where you had just 3 major moving averages acting as a resistance, and that resistance failed. Here's the 200 simple. We need to bounce off this. So this level cannot break for Zeta. 1384 we cannot go lower than that price. If we do, it's going to be game over for a bit. We're going to go down to single digits. Can this happen? And the answer is absolutely. And that's a very, very good trade setup possibility. So if we kind of gap down and break above this double bottom kind of coming in here, this is a very volatile stock, and that's a good 2.5 points up into the 100-200 on the daily and the 100 on the weekly on Zeta. ASTS, good grief, man. This has been a lot of fun. You had, the bounce off the 100, skyrockets in flight. The bounce off the 100, afternoon delight. There it is, right? Double bottom, another incredible push. Phenomenal bull candle. SpaceX launch, SpaceX IPO is happening. Like a $2 billion valuation, which I don't even know what to say about that other than there's no way to buy it. And if it a retest at 85 looks very strong to me on ASTS. This was an incredibly good bull candle. One of the stronger bull stocks out there, ironically enough, because we have already closed above Friday's high, which is rare for a lot of stocks out there. And I don't know, and the candle, it looks good. It's been holding the 100, it's been holding the 200. The trend's been holding up nicely. Rocket Lab, same thing. Perfect bounce off the 200. One white soldier, 10 out of 10 hammer, followed by some bull movement. So, Rocket Lab looks good. All of these stocks are going to be, obviously, depending on what the broader markets do for the most part. But the fantastic news is all my dumb little 100, 200 candles and volume analysis and charts and everything that a lot of you have learned from me and traded with me are still working really, really well. Unity software, one of my top 3 favorite chart patterns of all time is a bunch of bear candles coming in, bear gap, bull gap and go. The bull gap and go closes as a bear candle with bear volume, which is also a 10 EMA and a potential double bottom, and all the bears get squeezed, and the candle was a perfect hammer. Oh my gosh, right, dude. Uni software was so nice. And I posted that one everywhere on my socials. So if you got a chance to play that, well done. Incredible double bottom. This gap is going to fill. That is a reversal pattern. And I think that Uni software just goes a little bit higher. Weekly chart, those are the two big levels to sell. Lock in some positions, and let's see what happens at 26 and 30. And I think we get there. Terawulf. So this is a data center play. Again, still above the 100, 200 on the weekly and monthly and daily. This has been one of the stronger tech stocks, believe it or not, holding its 100 daily moving average. Crazy town. Crazy town. I mean, look at it. Look how well this thing is held. So essentially, buy low, sell high. That's what's happening right now. Buy the trend. This is an incredibly volatile stock. It is whippy as smokes, 20% or so a week up and down. Man, it's been fun to trade. Since January, really even since November, selling puts on this one, buying shares, selling calls, buying puts, getting into collars. This has been a very, very fun stock to trade. Look at this perfect shooting star, bear gap and go. Good Lord. Trade down into the 100 with 3 bear candles in a row. Perfect hammer. I mean, Thursday was a great day for Terawulf. Yeah, it's been fun. Hope you were enjoying playing it. Umac. Well, last time we talked about it was going to go lower after it went higher, and it did. So we had a really good move higher, and then we had to move lower. So yeah, it's at the 100, 200 on the daily right now. Bullish engulfing candle. This looks good for a potential bounce, right? A little bit of a retest, a little bit of a push. That's very, very doable. Weekly chart at the 100, the 100 weekly is still holding strong. This is a war drone stock. So if we're going to continue to be in wars, which we probably will be, and we're going to continue to use drones, which we probably will be, this is a fun stock to buy low, sell high on. There's a lot of volatility. It's at least worth tracking. It's at least worth checking out. And just like everything else, as long as we hold the low from Thursday's candle, we should be good. So let me just pop back over one last time to the futures. Yeah, we're rolling down just a little bit. I don't think it's going to be as bad as people think on Monday as far as a gap down is concerned. Ondus, another war drone play. Shout out to my boy Jake Wojastic for being one of the first people I know to talk about Ondus Bullish, which was like May of 2025 at $1. That flipping dude like 500x's his account in a couple months, which is super dope. I mean, I don't know. It looks fine. It looks fine. The big challenge is the close below the 100 daily. Huge bull candle. So if I don't have any position on this one right now, but I'd be shorting it on Thursday and expecting this candle to come in halfway into this candle and then bounce. I mean, that's essentially what most of the stocks should do. Retest halfway into Tuesday and Thursday's candle and then bounce. If we do not bounce and we close below those candles, I would just expect a lot more selling to come in across the board. It's just kind of my thoughts. Lemonade, nice little double bottom, 3 bull candles in a row, retest gap, close above the 200. That retest gap, well, retested and fully filled back over here on the 30th of March. This one, again, actually one of the weaker stocks, believe it or not, from the candle perspective, because we already have went below the low of Tuesday's candle, kind of like Robinhood. So if we break below this bull candle this week, I don't know why Lemonade wouldn't kind of continue to sink. The weekly 100, 200 look good, and the chart looks nice. Old support, new resistance. Again, I'm not saying it has to happen because I really, really love the fact that we're doing a 10 EMA right now on the monthly chart. I dig that. I like it a lot, and I think that it should go higher. So if it doesn't and we break below here, it's going to get a little tricky dicky. All right, 2 left. Edward Snowden, aka Snowflake. Man, when we talked about this one in late January, early February, and I was like, guys, this thing is going to go lower. It really, really did. Snow has sliced through the 100, 200 on the weekly. I haven't found any bottom on this one. I don't currently have any position in it personally, but what I can say just looking at the chart is if you're buying, buy very low, buy very slow, and don't be aggressive. This is an accumulation station, and if I was a buyer, I'd be a buyer between 150 and 100. So yeah, you got to buy slow on this one. I don't see any real chart patterns that just scream buy me. I like the candles. It looks to me like a descending triangle of some kind that has broken down. So I think Snow retests and then goes lower. It's just my thoughts. I don't have any position on it, but just watch it closely. And then again, back to technical analysis, doing technical analysis things. Big bear volume after earnings. We closed above the bear volume, trapping all of the bears. We retested that volume, and then we squeezed beautifully and incandescently into the 200 simple moving average on the daily chart, which we failed with a one black crow on March the 10th. Weekly chart, we need to hold and bounce off this 100 simple on the weekly. Just like Robinhood and a bunch of other things, you got your bull high wave candle here at the 100 simple on the weekly, and that's why one of this was happening, one up or one down. Don't know for sure, but good Lord, this thing is looking wild. So we will see what happens, but it's been a very, very fun journey, team. I hope you're having fun tracking the markets, playing in with everything, being around everything, and just basking in the opportunities that are available. Remember, the opportunities are endless, and you don't need to make money every day to make money every month, but it's available for every single one of us. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching this video. You rock.